frost roots, 3 snow blossoms. Out of twilight petals. I won't be able to gather more until the first thaw. Substitute for Cragcrawler and half blend of Xanderroot until then. Xanderroot, how much Xanderroot do I have? 2 bushels. I'll need to make another trip to the nomads. Well, I suppose it's time to dig up the chest again. Oh, you're awake. Thank goodness. I was just taking inventory of our herbs. The frost is about to set in, and it would be best if our stock were plentiful enough to ride out the coldest months in relative comfort. Oh, goodness. Here. I prepared something warm for you to drink. Don't worry, it's not mulled wine. It's hot cocoa. I may be a hermit, but I am not bereft of all life's comforts. Although functionality over frivolity appears to be the order of my life currently. But I have rather come to enjoy simplicity. Now drink up. I was awake half the night checking on you. And you'd best take care of yourself if you wish to stay in my good graces. But I jest. Your fever appears to have been broken somewhat, and with my extremely limited medical knowledge, I dare say I have done a rather splendid job. You should be back to your usual self in no time flat. That is, provided you decide not to go running into a blizzard again while under my watch. Please. I am far from a doting nurse. The cheek of it. Besides, the ground is frozen. I'll have you know it takes an awful long time and a lot of work to dig a good grave. Trust me, I should know. No, apologies. Gallows humour. It's rather unbecoming of me. I forget that often many are not of the same disposition as I. One too many conversations with oneself tends to lead to rather dreadful company. Oh, but what am I saying? You're probably hungry. You've been asleep for nearly 2 days. I thought it better than to wake you. I seemed to get the impression that you were rather a grumpy riser if disturbed. Now, there is a pot of stew on the stove. It's mostly whatever vegetables I could scrounge up, but it should at least be passable. You know, I never thought that cooking would be so difficult. I might be the only man in Saros that is able to burn soup. It reminds me of a long time ago. I used to think my chef had the easiest job in the kingdom. If I'd had known that culinary adventures were so fraught, I wouldn't have threatened to execute him as much as I did. Yes. I used to have my own chef a long time ago. Nothing, really. I was merely a petty nobleman. Had my needs met, I was comfortable. Nothing more. In fact, I'm Surprised you never heard of House Lorcanis. Might I be frank with you? You already know that I have made mistakes, but I have paid for them. Not nearly in full, but every day I spend here is another installment upon that debt. There is no progress without struggle. An old saying, but one that is true nonetheless. You know, you looked rather peaceful when you were sleeping. Most with fevers tend to look rather sickly or occasionally thrash about as if they were possessed, but you had all of the grace of a winter rabbit hibernating. Pleasant dreams, I presume. Well, that is good. Should bring some life to this musty old cabin. Before I go on, I thought it best to let you know. I'm going to be away for a few days. I used a large volume of my medical herbs in treating you. I think it would be best for us to replenish our supplies before the first frost sets. We have about a week before the nomads move too far south for me to make a practical journey. It's a 3-day journey there, too, if the weather allows, so time is unfortunately of the essence, my dear. I doubt we will need any of them, but I lacked herbs my second winter here, and after that experience I am more than ready to extol their virtues. I'll be gone a week at most, but in that time you will be here alone. I know this is not ideal, but seeing as you have recovered, it would be best for you to rest. And I will hear no arguments from you on that point. Once you are fully recovered, I more than expect for you to pull your weight while you stay. But for now, you will simply have to enjoy my hospitality. Well, are we agreed? See, you can be agreeable if you try. I jest. You know, I don't know why, but you remind me of someone I once knew. A long, long time ago. Someone who I once loved. Even if, looking back, they may have detested me. You have a similar fire to you. I once imagined all the things we could have been, the two of us. But I suppose that's all just a pipe dream. You know, I think I might have a quote for moments like these. We can change the past as easily as one might truly predict the future. Ramses Augustin from Exploring Precognition, a detailed essay. What? Does it surprise you that I'm educated? And there I thought my accent would have given away my profound knowledge of pointless subjects. That and Besides, I take the time to read whatever crosses my path, or I can barter from the nomads. I have naught but time on my hands here, and if one has naught but time, all they can do is strengthen both body and mind. Oh, speaking of which, I far from expect you to sit in boredom while I gallivant across the ice. You are more than welcome to my personal library. But I warn you, if you touch the bookmarks, there is not a mage in Saris nor the sands that will save you from my wrath. Who knows, if you're especially well behaved when I get back, I will teach you some of the things I learned back when I was nobility. Like what? Well, you know the usual, oppressing peasants, gossiping about the aristocracy, and all manner of monstrous things. But out of all of them, I dare say that none could dance the Laketon waltz quite like I. Now, relax. The stew should be done shortly. And I need to get to packing. Oh, and, I meant to say, thank you. It has been rather drab without company here, and I didn't realize how much just having another body around brings life to a place like this. I do not know you, but you are good. Now, drink up. That hot cocoa was the last of my supply of it, and I shall not see it go to waste.